Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the information session for the Master of Science programs in Operations Management, Engineering Management, and we've also have some graduate certificates that we're going to be talking about today. So thank you for joining. For the sake of time, we'll go ahead and get started. I am the moderator for today's information session. My name is Karen Hickenbotham. I'm with Marketing and Communications in the Master of Science in Operations Management and Engineering Management programs. Here on your screen, you can see our lovely staff. Actually many are on today for the webinar. So we've got plenty of people to answer any questions that you might have. So we ask that you save all questions until the end of the presentation. And again, we want to thank you for joining us today, and we will go ahead and get started. So the Master of Science programs that we offer, we use the motto, learn it today, use it tomorrow. So the Master of Science programs that we offer, again, I've mentioned Operations Management, Engineering Management, but it's also important to mention that we also have a Master of Science in Engineering. We won't be specifically discussing that today, but it is worth mentioning. If anyone has any questions, we can certainly answer those for you. We'll also be discussing our graduate certificates. Currently, we have 3 in Project Management, Lean Six Sigma, and Homeland Security. People often ask, what is operations management? And that's a great question. The Master of Science in Operations Management, it is designed for professionals who want to return to school to receive specialized training in managing business and government operations. That sounds broad because it is. It really spans over many, many disciplines. Every industry and government organization needs operations management professionals to help develop products and services to serve their customers. So a little bit about us, the MSOM program was established in 1974. We are the largest graduate program on campus. We have served over 5,000 students who have successfully graduated and prepared them to be leaders in their industry. Over 90% of our students do complete the degree fully online. We have 65 instructors who all have real world experience, and we offer 35 graduate courses each year. Another question is, what can I do with an operations management degree? So we have students from broad disciplines, but with the OM degree, you can go into operations management, human resources management, construction is a big one that's coming up. We have data analytics, project management, business operations. You can see it goes into finance, banking, and even investments. It can go into the nonprofit sector, government and military operations, and of course, operations research. So we also get asked, what are the classes like? So a few listed here, we have many, as I've mentioned, but some of them are going to dive into subjects such as human resources and data analytics, supply chain. Leadership is very popular. Project management is high in demand today. Lean Six Sigma is gaining momentum. And then Homeland Security. Students, their experience are they have fast-paced 8-week courses. On average, there's about 2 exams per course. Anywhere from 1 to 3 courses per semester, depending on each individual student's situation on how much workload they can handle. Collaboration on projects and networking with their peers is also a big plus. And they all say that they gain practical knowledge and learn applicable skills that they can apply immediately into their professional and even personal lives. So why MSOM? Well, instead of hearing it from us, why don't you check out our social media platforms? We've got Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and we have dozens of testimonials from our students who come from, again, a wide range of backgrounds and really diverse backgrounds, even age-wise. And so some of these folks really tell their story on how this degree has helped them even start their career or even advance their career. So again, check out our student testimonials. We usually post weekly. And so there's plenty to choose from, and it'd be great at your leisure if you could check those out. So the program strengths that we get from our students who are completing the program, the major themes are: 1, the flexibility of the program, both the schedule and the offerings of the electives, the diversity of instructors' knowledge, backgrounds, and experience, and the practical real world examples and projects that they are allowed to work on and even take into their careers or jobs while they're in the program. The applicable concepts that can be applied to many roles, the affordability, which we'll get to here in just a second, and then the collaboration with other students and learning from the diverse student population and experiences. They not only learn from the instructors, but they also learn from each other. So again, I've mentioned that it's learn it today, use it tomorrow. Operations management is a high wage, high demand field spanning in numerous disciplines. It is 100% online, but we do also offer video synchronous or evening classes on campus here in Fayetteville and other site locations. There is no out-of-state tuition. So a total for a 3-hour course is just over $1,000. So that's where the affordability comes in. You can actually do the operations management program or one of our MS degrees for around $12,000 to $15,000, depending on any prereqs, which we'll get to in just a second. You can take STEM-oriented courses that are designed to meet tomorrow's needs and learn from professors with current and relevant business expertise. Again, I've mentioned the flexibility. There is only 10 graduate courses required. 4 are going to be core that everyone takes, and then 6 electives that fit your current situation. You can also earn a graduate certificate concurrently with the Master of Science without taking any extra courses. This is a non-thesis program. The GRE requirements are applicants with a GPA of 3.0 or above. It is automatically waived. Applicants with a GPA of 2.5 to 2.99, your undergraduate GPA, will be considered on a case-by-case basis, but the GRE is going to be waived for those applicants through summer 2022. You can enter from any undergraduate degree. So we have many, many students who come from a business background, some from engineering, but we have others that have, a liberal arts degree from maybe communications or journalism, even arts. And so as long as you meet the criteria for admission for the grad school, you can have any undergraduate degree from an accredited institution. We offer 5 8-week sessions per year. That is both for admissions and enrollment. And for the degree completion, you can complete it as quickly as 18 months, but you do have up to 6 years to finish the program requirements. It is important to mention that we are military friendly. We're very flexible in our program because 35% of our students are currently active or retired military. The admission process is simple. Our online application is free. We do require your unofficial transcripts for evaluation, but unofficial can be for admission, but officials are still required. We do not require, unlike other graduate programs, we do not require a resume, letters of recommendation, or a personal statement to be with your application. The prerequisites that I mentioned earlier, they don't need to be completed for admission, but they will be required to be the first ones to be taken before entering into some of your graduate courses. Those prerequisites are going to be evaluated on an individual basis. Those are going to be business law, an accounting class, a statistics from any discipline. And then we have an intro to decision support tools. That is an Excel class to where you have one of 2 options. You can either take the course to gain the intermediate and advanced Excel skills that you need, or we do have, if you feel like you are advanced in your skills, we have a free proficiency exam that is created by the department that you can take to see if you can basically test out of the course. I also mentioned that we have an engineering management degree. This degree is a Master of Science that prepares engineers to create value for their organization and their customers. It prepares them to lead and manage a technical workforce and projects, and also to develop and deliver new products and services. The admission requirements for the Master of Science in Engineering Management is a Bachelor of Science in Engineering from a program accredited by the Engineering Commission of ABUT, and to have a 3.0 or greater GPA on all coursework prior to the receipt of the engineering degree or of the last 60 hours of coursework. Now, with this degree, a conditional admission is possible for a GPA 2.9 down to 2.5, but it is evaluated on a case-by-case basis. So if you have any questions about that, let us know. And again, why choose an engineering management degree? Well, if you're currently an engineer, again, you're going to learn these concepts and use it tomorrow. It's 100% online. This is also a non-thesis program. The tuition is very similar to the OM degree. A 3-hour class ranges from just over $1,000 to maybe a little bit more, depending on if there's an admin fee for the engineering courses that you take at the time. You will also learn from professors with current and relevant expertise. And this is also a flexible degree plan with only 10 graduate courses. There's 4 core required. Then you have a 3-course engineering sequence and then 3 electives. This too, you can also earn a graduate certificate concurrently without taking any extra courses. So let's get to those graduate certificates, because I know some folks that signed up for today's info session were interested in these certificates. So we have project management, and that is designed to provide students become better project managers and prepare for the PMP certification. What this certificate does is it satisfies the curriculum requirements to sit for the national exam. You would just have to meet the professional experience, which you can find on the PMI.org website if you're interested in that. We also have the Lean Six Sigma, which is designed to teach you how to eliminate problems, remove waste, reduce variation to improve operations. And then last, our Homeland Security is designed for industry and safety professionals to learn how to mitigate risk. So this ranges anything from cybersecurity to unmanned aerial systems, risk management, and it's gaining great popularity with the world that we're living in today. So those graduate certificates, what does that entail? So it's only 4 classes. You can either obtain it as part of your master's degree without taking any extra classes. So the classes are going to count both in your master's degree and in the certificate, okay? But it also can be completed as a standalone program. And actually some students who are still kind of unsure whether or not they really want to take that plunge and earn their master's will go ahead and sign up for a certificate. And then once they get into those classes, they enjoy it so much. And it's a way for them to transition into the master's program for operations management without the GRE. And so for the certificates, you only need a 2.5 undergrad GPA. And then again, no GRE is required just for the certificates. So how can I apply? Well, those application deadlines, they're still out there. You still got time to start in spring of 8-week 1, which is going to begin in January when we come back after the holiday break. That deadline is going to be December 8th. But if you think, man, I'm still kind of working on it, that still seems kind of short. Well, we have a rolling admissions of 5 times a year. So we have a session that starts 8-week 2, and that deadline is February 22nd. So still have time. And then if you're still thinking about it and maybe want to, explore if your organization offers tuition assistance, then we also admit for the summer term, and that deadline is months away, which is May 3rd. So you can apply on our website. We have a direct link to the graduate school admission application, and the application will be the same for both the Master of Science and or the graduate certificates, whichever you choose. We want to keep this short because we want to allow folks to ask any questions. So I'm going to go around here and see if anybody has any closing remarks that they want to add to the presentation. I know we've got quite a few people online here. And let me see if I can get to those. So I see we have Professor Carrie Beam. She is wonderful and has a wealth of knowledge to share with us. We also have some advisors online. We have Instructor Nethercutt, our project management expert. If anybody has any specific questions about project management, he or I see Dr. Rocky Gay has joined us too. He would be one to speak on project management. And I know we have some folks interested from the undergraduate admissions office and are joining us today. So thank you and shout out to you guys for joining us today and wanting to learn more about our programs. So it looks like we have one question from Ron. Says the programs look great. Well, thank you, Ron. We work very, very hard to stay relevant. That is one other thing I do want to mention is the relevancy of our program does really keep with the rapidly changing times, especially post, or I guess coming out of the pandemic. I'm not sure how to say that yet, but it says you mentioned diversity in the student population and you say that you work closely with international students. Great. Can you talk about any differential admission procedures for overseas candidates? Anything special regarding English proficiency requirements? For example, great question. So we have Lisa Milligan on today. She is actually our advisor for international students. We also have Assistant Director Carol Alton, who would be able to answer any of those questions. So Carol, I'm going to yield to you first if you want to turn on your mic and address Ron's questions concerning international students.
Sure. We do have some English language requirements that are set by the graduate school. They would, students who do not have English as their native language must take an English proficiency exam. And if they don't get to specific scores in those exams for English writing, then they may be required to take some English proficiency classes, ELAC classes, or we also work with Spring International. So if they really need some work on their English, they can choose to elect to go to Spring International Language Center here on campus. And then once they complete their requirements there, then they can transition to the MSOM program. So we do have probably during the year, we have at least 20, maybe up to 30 international students in our program. We do offer courses on campus, so we do have F1 students doing the MSOM program. The MSEM program is completely online, so they do not have any F1 students. But they may have, but we both have international students who may have different visas that don't require them to be on campus.
Yeah, so Carol, I don't know if you can see chat. It's hard to talk and look at chat at the same time, but Ron mentions he's the new director over at Silk. So
Great.
welcome, Ron. It's great to meet you. And students in Brazil who would love this program. So Ron, did we answer your questions, or maybe we can, after the presentation, we can hang online and see if you have anything specific, and we would love to get to know you, because those Silk questions are
Yes.
a thing.
Yes, I will. If we don't meet this after this presentation, Ron, then we'll meet afterwards, and I would like to come visit you with our advisors.
Yeah,
Thank you for that question.
Yeah, thanks, Ron. So we have another question here, and Leonard or Rocky, if you are available, I'll yield to Leonard first because you're the first one on my list. Jen has a question. Thanks, Jen, for joining us today. It says, do folks who complete the project management certificate go right into the PMP exam, or do they need additional prep courses? Leonard, would you like to answer that for her?
You bet. It's a great question. It depends upon, I'm going to use the whole reply. It depends. Okay. I have had students report back to me. Students have to take, at this point, a comprehensive exam. And I have had students report that they went straight from taking the PM courses and completing the graduate certificate and project management certificate, and have successfully taken the PMP exam. Okay. Now, that being said, other students have successfully completed the PMP exam, and they've taken a different route, and that is they did go through more preparation. So it actually depends upon the student. My thinking is that to expose yourself to more of the PMP content, like example questions that you may encounter on the PMP exam, it may be beneficial to do some additional preparation before you do take that PMP exam. Now that makes the assumption that you meet the other PMP requirements, such as project management experience, as well as education experience. So Dr. Gay, can you add anything to that?
Thanks, Leonard. Yeah, we've had folks say, and I think it's accurately, when we ask them in our comp exams, I think 80% of the material that we have that we teach that's on the P&P exam is covered in our classes, and I think we do a really thorough job on that. So there are some outfits that may just sort of teach the tests some degree, but as far as we give you a very thorough understanding of project management and all the many different aspects of it that take into account, because project, most things that people do are projects, and that you'll be able to apply in a lot of different industries. So I'm very confident that you'll be prepared for the P&P exam. You may want to take a little bit of a supplementary thing there, but for the most part, you'll be ready to take it and pass it for sure.
Great, that's wonderful information, Jen. I hope that answered your question. If you have additional questions, please utilize the chat while we're here, or you do see, for those folks that are online, there's 2 emails here. If you have any questions about any of these programs, you can email either the MSOM at UARC and or the MSEM at UARC emails, and we will get back to you shortly. I do want to just, while we're on here, give everybody kind of a fair shot, but we have Dr. Carrie Beam online. And Carrie, do you want to share anything about our programs to tell these folks, or about anything that we haven't covered, or just maybe have a comment on?
Absolutely. And I have to say, I'm having like Razorback head entry. I wish I had envy. I wish I had put my large, robust Razorback head, but you guys get to see me today. I just want to talk a little bit about the Excel skills that people develop in our program. A lot of us are at work and we need to get some information out of Excel, and we just don't quite know how to get that crosstab done, or we sorted it, but it's not sorting the same way, or you need to manipulate the data. One of the feedback we get time and time again from our students, whether they're interested in leadership or engineering or analytics or quality or Lean Six Sigma, is that the Excel skills they picked up in our program, they can now just make the graph they need and get on about their business. So they're not fighting with Excel. It's the difference between studying French as French 101 in high school versus actually being fluent in the language. So you can go and just listen to what the waiter's saying at the restaurant and move forward from there. So that is one very practical skill that people pick up. And it is a very easy on-ramp. You get lots of opportunities to redo your homework. We make solutions available to you. You can Zoom screen share with an instructor and have them help you walk through it. So the days of banging your head on your keyboard by yourself under the desk in the basement are over if you enroll in our program.
Great way to put it. We've all been there, right? So yeah, Ron, just a quick question. It looks like you're monitoring the chat, but Jane Crumhout, who is very well versed in our engineering management program, put a note in there about students meeting the minimum requirements for English proficiency. So you might want to check that out. And if you have any follow-up questions, again, I think we're going to follow up with you anyway. Yeah,
I'm following up with her separately.
Good, thank you. All right. So Carrie, thank you for that. That was a great point. We have a lot of questions about that Excel proficiency, and students, all those testimonials that you can read online on our social media sites. Many of them say, when I ask them, when they reach out to us with these testimonials, and I ask them, I say, what is the most beneficial course do you think? And I want to say over half of them will specifically mention that Excel course and said, I didn't realize how much that changed my life and how much easier it made my job to know those skills. So Carrie, Dr. Beam works very hard on that course. And I just want to give a shout out to the other folks that are part of the MSOM staff. Mindy Hunthrop is our assistant director and handles all of the faculty development. And so she works tirelessly to make class schedules work and course offerings and the experience. So we want to thank Mindy for all of her hard work. And we want to welcome our new advisor for engineering management, Megan. She's online. So welcome, Megan. Thanks for joining us today. Cynthia, thanks for joining us and thanks for your questions. So appreciate that we could provide a good overview for you, and that we were able to share the project management cert and the MS. And so you ask, are the 4 prerequisites for the MS also required for the project management certification? Great question. I'm going to yield to first Carol and then maybe to Carrie, because the different certificates will have courses in there, which yes, if you're in the MS program, you would be required to take. And so I'm going to yield Carol, or maybe I'm going to yield to Carol first, and then we can reach out to Leonard about project management. Maybe Carrie, you can help out with the skills that people would need if they want to enter into the Lean Six. So Carol, I'll let you.
Sure, that's a great question. For the project management certificate, we don't have a student who goes straight into project management certificate does not need to fulfill the prereqs for the MSOM program. So you can start off with project management class without doing any prereqs. So it would be a total of 4 graduate courses.
So Leonard, in your experience with folks that are just doing the PM certificate, do you see any obstacles with them not having the prerequisites into the program doing those courses?
Karen, I wouldn't describe it as obstacles. There are a topic or two in the PM and advanced PM course where we do look at something called PERT, P-E-R-T, Program Evaluation Review Technique, which does use some basic statistics, but those statistics are, hopefully I don't underdescribe this. They're easy to pick up. Okay, we have great examples in the textbooks, and we have great supporting videos that walk through the process and helps with the underlying foundation of interpreting these applications.
Great. And Carrie, do you have any additional, maybe on, some folks actually did sign up specifically for the Lean Six Sigma certificate. So do you have any insight on that?
So Lean Six Sigma is awesome, but you knew that. That's why you signed up for it. The Lean Six Sigma certificate also, we don't have any prerequisites aside from the Excel skills. And if you need the Excel skills, we do provide a refresher in what we call week 0, which is kind of the week before class starts when you're firing up everything, making sure your login works. We run you through some exercises to make sure that you have just the basic Excel skills you'll need to be able to make a control chart and put that through. But again, our emphasis is on making this accessible to everybody who wants to learn. We're not putting ourselves in a castle and building a moat around it. We are putting that bridge down and inviting all our students to come have a great experience.
Great, thank you so much. So Cynthia, I hope that answers your questions for the certificate. So thank you for that question. That is one that I did not make that point on, so I appreciate you bringing that up. We do want to kind of, for the sake of time, not steal all of your lunch hour today. So if you have any other questions on the screen here, for operations management, you can visit our website. You can email, which Carol Alton would monitor that. We've got a couple folks that will monitor the engineering management as well. And either one of those can answer the questions also on the graduate certificates, or you've got my email already from signing up. You can get in touch with me and I can put you in touch with the correct person. So we'll go ahead and wrap up today. I want to thank everybody for coming online. It was great to meet you all. Good to see a couple of U of A folks on here wanting to learn more about our programs. We really appreciate that initiative on your part. So thank you, Mindy. Thank you, Lisa, Megan, Jane, Carol, Leonard, Carrie, and Rocky. Always great to have you on and have your contribution for these information sessions. It's great to hear from the instructors themselves. And so if no one has any other questions, we'll conclude for the day. And I will be following up with everyone who registered. They will receive a link to this recording if you would like to pass it on to anyone else that may be interested in learning more about our programs, and also some helpful links of many of the things that we mentioned here today. So you will be getting a follow-up email within 24 hours. So again, thank you, everyone. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week.